Fine. So in this session, we are going to learn about the custom CDS entity. So this concept is applicable from S42020 on-premise version, and then in ABAP on cloud. That means in Restful ABAP programming also we can use this particular concept. So let's go and try to understand. I'm going into the Eclipse. Let's go and create one CDS over here. Data definition, click on this next button and $tmp. Just giving this package Z CDS custom entity underscore demo. So CDS custom entity demo. So click on this next button. So how it's different than the regular CDS? See, so if you know, like in the regular CDS, how we write the code over there, define view, and we give the view name over here. That means the CDS view name, and as select from, we give the table name maybe, and then we give the key over here, and in the key we can mention the matner, then mtart, something like that, right? matkl. But the thing is that, let's suppose you have one requirement where you have to populate, like you have to write some logic, you have to perform some complex business logic. So what are the ways to perform the complex business logic with the help of CDS? One is that, tell me, CDS table function, right? CDS table function. And second is like see, one, like if you one is the CDS table function. With the help of that you can perform the complex business logic, right? But it is having again some limitation. We will not discuss that, but it is having some limitation, like you have only one export parameter, right? Like that. So, and here, like in CDS you have one concept of virtual elements. So if you want to populate one particular field based upon some another table on some another condition, then the virtual elements comes into picture. Okay, so maybe the virtual elements, but this logic you are going to, virtual elements can be populated based on the logic, and this logic can be implemented in a class. Okay, this logic can be implemented in the class. Okay, you can give the class name using the annotation. And third is this custom CDS entity. Custom CDS entity. So if you want to perform some complex business logic, this custom CDS entity also we can use, and its logic is also going to be used where means its logic is also going to be written in the class. Okay, this logic is also going to be written in the class. So now let's go and create this custom CDS entity. Okay, so click on this, select that custom CDS entity. So parent custom, yes, I'm selecting the last option. Click on this finish. So it got created over here, right? You can see that. What you have to do, that these parameters you can remove, not required. We are not looking for any parameters at this moment. Directly we want to populate the fields. So for example, like if I'm willing to get some material matner, here you can give the matner mtart, and here you can give the mtart, right? then maybe matkl, matkl, right? And one more field, just mbrsh and mbrsh. So like that, you can create the uh, one custom CDS entity, and at the top, actually, you have to give one annotation. So what's the name of this annotation? This is the annotation basically you have to use. So I'm going to copy this directly and paste it over here. Remember this, at the rate of object model dot query dot implemented by ABAP. This ABAP you must have to write, like otherwise it will produce the warning. And then the name of the class. Okay, so this class I'm not going to create from the scratch because the system is slow and it will take time. So better, I've already created this class and I will show you through that. Okay, so just save this one, and we can go and activate this. So see here, actually the system is slow, so taking some time. And now activate this one, so it will get activate. Meanwhile, I will show you this class. So what you have to do, you have to go and create this class. Okay, so already I have created this class. You can see that this class is here, the same class. How you have to create this class? Right click and click on this new, and you will get the ABAP class option, and just give the class name and all. Click on this next, and then finish. You will get such kind of this. Next step, what you have to do, you have to add this interface. This is the mandatory step. This is very important step. So in every CDS custom entity, you must have to give this interface so that the system can understand that this particular class has been written for the purpose of this particular CDS implementation. So logic to fetch the data for this material mtart, mtkl, mbrsh is present in this particular class. Okay, so you have to add this interface, and in this interface you have a method called select. This is very important interface. Let me show you this interface. Come here, control V, and click on this OK button. So it is having some important methods. That method we can go and implement. One of the method is select. Okay, so I think, let me do one thing. I have one more system. I will quickly show you over there. So hope you are able to see the system. If you are not, just let me know.
We're able to see, sir.
Good. So here is for HANA 2021. I'm giving quickly the password. Okay, it looks like some. SC24 if underscore RAP underscore query underscore provider. Click on this display, and here you can see that this is having this particular method select. And if you see the parameter, one parameter is IO underscore request and another is the IO underscore response. These are very important parameter. These parameters is having several other methods. You can see that get entity ID, is data requested, is total number of record requested, get filter, get paging, get sort elements, get parameters, get aggregations. These all methods are the important method, right? So uh, please mute from your side. Fine. Let's go back, and here for this IO response also, you can see that you have the different set data, set total number of records, right? Two important method. So this method will be responsible to send back the data. Okay, means whatever the data you want to pass back, you want to populate through the CDS. This is the method where you have to use this particular method. Already codes and everything is written inside this set data method that will be executing, and it will be able to set whatever you want to send the data. So you understood there are two methods basically, right? Sorry, there is one method select, and in this select method there are two parameters. One is the request, IO request, and another is the IO response. So now let's try to understand how we have written the code. Okay, so once again, just I'm repeating, I have created a class. Okay, in that class I have mentioned this interface. Then in this interface we have a method called select. Here you can see that select method we are implementing now. So I'm getting one object created for paging. You have to handle the paging basically, otherwise it will give you the dump. So that's why we are going to handle the paging, like how many records you want to display. If more number of records are there, how the paging should work. So that kind of stuff we are going to handle. Second, I think this offset is not required. Okay, offset is not required. We can remove this offset part. I'm just going to remove offset is not required. Okay. So in LV, we are handling the paging part. So LV page size just to handle the dump, so LV page size, LO paging, this particular object is having the get page size, right? And we got this, variable. And now the max size we are determining with the help of this condition. And then this also I'm going to remove not required at this moment. Let me remove. So very small code just to make you understand how it's going to work. Okay. And now Matner, MTART, MATKL, and MBRSH, we are fetching from Mara and putting into this LT underscore data. So if you want to write some logic and you want to manipulate this internal table, right, you can put loop at LT underscore data into work area, and based upon some condition, if you want to manipulate the data, you can manipulate. And after manipulation of data, you can assign this LT underscore data internal table, to this exporting parameter it underscore data of the IO response set data, right? So this select query is having two parameter. One is IO what request. With the help of IO request, we got paging because we have to handle the paging. I'm getting the paging object, right? We are handling this or else it will go into dump. That's why this this lines of code is just for handling the dump part. Okay, actual code is here, we are getting the data from the Mara table and putting into this internal table, and this internal data I'm passing it over here, right? I'm setting it over here, and it will go and set as an attribute of the IO response with the help of this method, and it will get back. So this is the class we created. Just check this and click on this activate so that it will be activated. Once you create this class, what you have to do in the third step, you have to create the service definition. Okay, so what you can do that, uh, you can right click maybe over here and click on this and click on this other and search for the service definition. Okay, service definition, you can select this, click on this next button, and you can give the CDS name over here. Here you have to give the CDS for which you want to create the service definition. Okay, the name of the service definition you can give, and the description something you can give over here. Package you can give $TMP. Okay, so once you give and click on the next, your service definition will be created. Once you create the, see in my case already I have created this service definition in the same way. So it will be created like this. So once you create the service definition, automatically expose the CDS name will come over here. That means you are now allowed to expose. You can use this CDS entity to the outer world. And one thing, like, if you try to execute this CDS independently over here by pressing F8, it will not allow. It will not be able to give any. Here you will not be able to test. You can see that data preview is not available for custom entities. So data preview is not possible over here to see. How you can see? We can test it through the service. Like virtual element also will not be able to execute to get it directly here. In the same way, this custom entity also will not be able to see the preview here. You will have to call through the gateway, or you will have to call through the UI5 or Fury application or any third-party tool. Okay. So now it got activated, right? This class got activated, and we are able to create this service. Already I have created. It's very simple to create. I'm not creating because again it will take time. The system is a little slow. And once you create the service definition, what you can do, you can create the service binding. So for service binding, again, what you can do, right click over here, click on this new, go to the, no, you have to, maybe you can click on this core data services here, and it will give you the option to create the service binding. Okay, so you can search for the service binding. You can select, click on this next button, and give the name of service binding, something something, give some description. And here the binding type, see, you can see that OData v2 UI and OData v2. In the latest version you will get OData v4 UI, OData v4 web API also. This is the OData v2. Okay, it's coming. So any of these you can select, there is no problem. Or OData v4 also, it all your choice what you want to select, right? That you can select. So, and you can create the service binding just by clicking on the next button. So here I'm click on this, give this service definition. Service definition, I've created JKPK, this ZPK service. You can give it over here. Whatever service definition you have created, you can give and click on this next button. That's it, and it will be automatically created this service binding. Let me cancel this, otherwise it will take time. So I'm just going to cancel. So here actually we got this ZPK, this service definition already we have created. Now the service binding also we have created, right? So this is for OData, UI. This I have created the two. Anything is fine. So this is for OData v2, means normal OData v2. I have created two service binding. I have created and tested both. Both were working fine. Okay. So these are the steps you have to follow. Once you follow this step, now you are ready to test. In order to test, what you have to do, that you have to use /iwfnd/gw underscore client transaction, right? Gateway client transaction. You already know this one, right? As a OData, you should have some basic understanding of OData, like if you want to test whether it's working fine or not, right? So meanwhile, what I will do, that I will go and write the steps. So steps to implement the custom CDS entity. The first step is create the CDS, a custom CDS entity, right? Custom CDS entity, right? Second step, create the class, right? Create the class which is implementing the logic, which is implementing the logic. And in this class, what you have to do, interface, right? Interface, we have to use if underscore wrap underscore query underscore provider. This interface you have to use, and this interface is having a method called what? Implement method select. It is having a method called select, and there you have to handle the paging, otherwise it will give you the error. So some line of code, 3 or 4 lines of code, it's there, you can just copy and paste, or you can get it from internet. Okay, handle the paging, and then get the data from the table and manipulate the internal table data. You can write the logic by putting the loop and all, based upon the condition you can manipulate the data if you want. So get the data from the table into internal table, and if you want, you can apply the logic to manipulate the data. All right, then set the internal table to io underscore response. Right, we have a method called io underscore response, and then set data, and in that one in that we have to set our internal table record. Right, so it underscore tab, just I'm putting, let's suppose our record is there in this lt underscore internal table, so lt underscore tab. So like that I've just put it. So now this one, yeah. So we are able to, we yes, and then in the next step what we have to do, you have to create the third step. Tell me, service definition you have to create. Service definition corresponding to what? This custom CDS entity. For this custom CDS entity, you will have to create the service and service definition. And then in the fourth step, create the service binding for the service definition. So these are the 4 steps basically we have to follow. Hope it's clear for everyone, right? If it's clear, just type capital C, and now I will go and run this particular gateway client, and I will show you that it will be giving you the data. You can also go and practice. Okay, you can also go and practice in your system. Your system will be there S4 2020 or S4 2021, it's there, then it's a good. A minimum S4 2020 is required. Okay, so name of the custom CDS entity, what I have created, this is the one which I have created, right? This is, and I have used the same class, right, which is already implemented. Now come here and let's see whether it's working fine or not. Okay, so I remove this one, ZPK binding, right? So this binding and all, see this this service definition I have created for this CDS. Actually, I have not created the service definition for this, right? So this CDS, if you see already, which I have created, the same CDS, right? Same CDS is same custom CDS entity. Okay, so for this, because we have not created any service definition and service binding, so we will not be able to utilize this one. Okay, we will not be able to utilize. If you want to utilize this one, you will have to create the service definition and service binding. So I'm going to use the same CDS, just to show you. So come here and ZPK binding and ZPK binding, to two binding I have created. Any one binding is fine. Okay, so any one binding is fine. If you double click over here, just I want to show you what's the difference, means how you will be able to see once the binding is created. See, this is how you will be able to see the binding, and here the service URL will be appearing, right? For this Z, let me click, yeah, for this you can see, and again you can double click over here, right? So see here, OData V2 Web API, right? Here you can see that OData V2 Web API, this one. Okay, and here if you see, OData V2 UI. One is OData V2 UI and another is the OData Web API. So any one of the option you can select and you can create one binding is fine. Just I have tested with the both type of binding. Here two option comes now. See here two option comes. One V2, any one is fine. So I just for testing purpose I have created two and both was working fine for me. Okay. So come here once again now and let's clear this. So what you can do that, and from where you will get this URL, you will be able to get the URL from here. Actually, I'm not sure why it's not showing, but here actually it shows that URL. Once it's gets created, it will be showing you over here, and from there itself I copied and pasted it here, so it's still here. Okay, so for the service binding URL you can copy from there, or what you can do, this much will be always same, and after that you can write the binding name. Okay, and you can click on this execute button just to check whether it's working fine or not. So I've just click on this execute button so that I will be able to get the metadata, that means the data about data. uh, it will make sure that whether it's working fine or not, it's loading fine or not. So metadata should be loaded properly, then only your service will be executed. So just we are checking that. So this one, right, you can see that it's the metadata is getting loaded. And now what I want to do, that I want to fire that query and I want to get the material records over here. So you can click on this entity sets so that the custom CDS entity option will come over here and I will select from that. So like that also you can also prepare, something and you can share over here. It will be beneficial for everyone. So again, I've clicked on this entity sets and waiting for the pop-up from where I can select the CDS custom entity. So this pop-up you have to just select from here and automatically this will come, right? So this will be have like a entity set, okay, in the OData URL, right? And now click on this execute button, and now we are expecting to display the 10 records uh, which we have written it over here. Matner mtar thematical mbrs from from Mara, and it will put it over here and we will be getting back. So we are expecting it to display the 10 records. Okay, so it will be fetching the data and it will be displaying. So you can see that we got the data over here, right? Here, the material number first, and this is the second, this is the third, fourth, and like that, we will be able to get the 10 records, right? So this is all about the CDS custom entity. Thank you for attending this session. Let's meet in the next inner circle call on Sunday. Bye-bye. Take care.